Alright guys, so let's talk about a movie that I'm actually ashamed I have not seen before, and for the first time I watched Little Shop of Horrors, which, directed by Frank Oz, this is the remake of the 1961 that I have not seen either, but I hear people love this one. I don't know about the other one, but this one is really special to me. Like, even on first watch, I really dug the hell out of this movie. This was so incredibly fun. Alan Menken as well, who does a lot of the Disney scores, did the music for this movie as well, and you can tell, you can feel the same type of music that he does in the 90s Disney movies. He really gives it his all in this movie, and this is such a fun, enjoyable movie because of the musical score as well, so I'm so glad they brought him in as well. And the plot is that this character, Seymour, played by Rick Moranis, Seymour gets a plant that during the full moon eclipse, and this plant starts eating people, and it's a musical. Stay with me. And I know people who have seen this, of course, like or love this movie. Now, this one is just an interesting one because this one has a plot that, like, is basic, but it's done throughout all the music where, like, the plot is forwarded, and I like that. I like that they use the song just to forward the plot, and Alan Menken does that in Disney movies as well. Now, there's a song in the movie that I have to point out because I watched Family Guy so much as whenever I was younger, and that song, Somewhere That's Green, that the character Audrey sings, where she's like imagining her and Seymour are married and they got kids, I laughed out loud at this scene, not because it was funny, but because they have that Family Guy parody where Herbert the pervert in that show, who has a thing for 13-year-old Chris, he imagines that they're married, and it's the same song, it's literally the same scenes, but animated with Herbert instead of the character Audrey. And I just laughed out loud watching the scene because I'm like, oh, that's where that comes from, because I never saw this movie before, but Family Guy, of course, uses all these references to movies and media. And that just, I lost it whenever that appeared in the movie. I was like, what? Awesome. Really love that. And this also has a really big cast to it. Like Rick Moranis, Sean Candy, Steve Martin, Bill Murray, James Belushi, and Christopher Grant. Like, they all just kind of appear. Some of them are there for like one time and then go away. But I do like all these actors in this movie. They all do a good job. And Steve Martin in this movie is really awesome. I really thought he was one of the best characters in the movie. And he's not in the movie a lot. He's like supporting character, but he's great in this one song about wanting to be a dentist, and it's so funny. That moment, like, he's singing to the guy, like he's talking about being a dentist, and he's singing while he's working on a guy's teeth, and he's spraying the water in his mouth, and he's singing to the guy, say ah, and then the guy goes ah, and like he's spraying water in the guy's mouth, and he keeps saying say ah, and like he keeps spraying more water into the guy's mouth, and the guy's like oh, like, because he's got water in his mouth. It was hilarious. And I really loved that scene, and I really liked all these characters. They were all so charming and likable, and it's weird because these characters are not supposed to be complex. They're just base character traits, you could say, because this movie feels like these characters are so quirky and likable, but like they've got basic personalities, which feels like it's straight out of a stage play. And whenever I was watching this, I was like, this feels like you're watching a stage play, like you're literally watching from the audience. And that's a cool thing about this movie, is that it's very cool in that way, is you really feel like you're just watching from the stage, like these people interacting, like, and even how it's shot kind of looks like that too. And I think that's just a clever, creative way to have this musical be like that. And the plant is very funny too whenever it starts talking and eating people, like, and the effects are very great on the plant as well. Like, they still hold up great, and it's really creepy looking even though it says a lot of funny things. It reminds me, if any of you guys grew up in the 90s and you watched VeggieTales, if you saw the episode Larry Boy and the Rumor Weed, which was this rumor weed, like it was a weed that grew by spreading rumors, that looked a lot like this plant. like in the movie, and I wonder if they took inspiration in that episode of VeggieTales with that. Like, I just thought that was funny. It reminded me so much of the rumor weed, and because it's a talking plant that's snarky, like the rumor weed was. So, so that cracked me up as well. And again, all the music in this is so great. All these characters are so likable and funny. I really, really enjoyed the hell out of this movie. This was such a fun time, and I really am ashamed that I didn't see it until now. But I'm glad that I got to review it on this channel and talk to you guys about it. And I want you guys to tell me down below what you guys think of Little Shop of Horrors. Do you love it? Do you hate it? I want to know your thoughts. And if you like this video, check out my links down below. And thank you guys again for so much for watching.